Well, I'm reminded of something that Srila Gurudev said to me once, and it's forever ringing in my ears. And with him sitting on his veranda in Calcutta, and beneath the framed sloka of Shikshastakam of Mahaprabhu, Trinadapi Sunichena Tororapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So many times he invoked the substance of this sloka, humility, being humble, more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, and giving honor to others without expecting any honor in return. And on this particular occasion, he said, my religion is finding fault with myself. Right? Very simple, succinct, and profound statement. My religion is finding fault with myself. This is the path to self-improvement, by looking outward into the environment, casting blame on the environment or other people, the actors within that environment, circumstances, all of these excuses that we can make for adopting something less than proper behavior, the excuses that we can make for not practicing Vaishnava religion, which Gurudev summed up in that my religion is finding fault for myself, and alluding to what is expressed by Mahaprabhu. And sometimes Srila Gurudev would say on the amanina manadena aspect, meaning offering respect to others without expecting any in return. He said, even those who are not worthy of respect, or we could say, who are apparently not worthy of respect. Just as it's easy to be tolerant when things are tolerable. It's easy to be humble in certain circumstances. So it's easy to give honor to those who are worthy of honor. But it's difficult to practice humility when our ego is being crushed. Right? Or we feel we're being insulted or not recognized. And the Torora Pisa Hishnuna, even more tolerant than a tree, Srila Guru Maharaj said that the tree, someone is cutting down a tree, and they're sawing a tree or chopping it down, and while they're doing that, the tree is providing shade to them. That sort of conception of toleration is being invoked, that in the midst of being assaulted, attacked, dealt with unfairly, whatever the case might be, the heading might be, still offering shade, shelter. Right? Like we see sometimes children on the lap of the mother, or they're kicking the mother, or they're doing things if you were older would be objectionable. But they're being tolerated because of love and affection, and like, what did Gurudev compare it to also? He said, like, stool being passed. Sometimes they're passing stool on the parent. that is not a case for getting rid of the child. He said so, but he used this in the context of the guru and the disciple. So, find in the Chaitanya Charitamritam that in the story of after Rath Yatra, which we just read recently, they tell the story of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya invites Mahaprabhu to his house for lunch. And it's really a wonderful moment and an extraordinary pastime. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he is cooking, his wife is cooking. They're just totally thrilled that Mahaprabhu is going to come to their house. Because so many people wanted to give him invitations, and it was just impossible to field all the invitations. So they had to figure some way. And he has 10 sannyasis who are more or less in constant association with him. Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, and others. So, and it's interesting there too, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, I will, with these sannyasis, like one at a time, I'll invite them, because to give them proper attention, he knows to have like 10 of them show up could be Torora Pisa Hishnuna. So, anyway, and Mahaprabhu agrees, and they work out some system how he'll accept invitations. Anyway, the time comes, and Mahaprabhu comes there. And so many wonderful things are made by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and his wife. And Mahaprabhu is astonished. He said, in a few hours, that what you've cooked, prepared, it's inconceivable how in such a short time that could be done. And he's being very humble, like, oh, this has obviously been offered to Krishna, so if you can take a little bit for me and Sarvabhauma, my Lord. He said, wait. He said, as Jagannath, you're eating 56 offerings every day. And we know they do that. You see, they bring in like hills of prasadam, offer that to Jagannath, take away, order more. So he said, so whatever I've prepared here is nothing in comparison to what you eat on a daily basis. Because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, it's very sweet, that pastime, that after taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu madly, he's searching for Krishna. As Srila Guru Maharaj titled the first book, Search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful, Krishnanusandhan. The search is what is valuable. That we have to understand. In Krishna consciousness, the search, the searching tendency, the aspiration yields substance. Here, to aspire in a particular way is a valuable thing. Right? So the search for Sri Krishna, like Srila Prabhupada once said, in quote, he liked those prayers to the 6 Goswamis, Gosham Yastakam. And the last verse says, Hey Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite Hey Nanda Shuno Kutaha. Kutaha means where. So he's saying, they're saying, Hey Radhe Brajadevi Ke Chalalite, with Lalita and Hey Nanda Shuno, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Where are they? They're searching for them. He's saying this, not that they've got. Right? Don't say that they have, that they've got. Even Radharani herself is mentioned in the Madhya Lila, Madhya 2, which is the synopsis of the final pastimes of Mahaprabhu, which is the point of Chaitanya Charitamritam, to reveal Mahaprabhu's interior. There's a mysterious section quoting the Jagannath Ballabha Natak of Ramananda Roy, his drama, and there where Radharani, she's lamenting that meeting with Krishna, it happens so fast, and she's left with remembrance of this lightning flash like meeting and vision. And she's thinking how to prepare herself for the future. Because she's saying when she saw Krishna, she was attacked by two enemies. One, this intense love and affection for Krishna. The other, ecstasy that caused her vision to blur, and for her to lose the sight of Krishna. It all happened in a flash. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bichakshana Korite in his song. Like a flash, there's some revelation. So she's thinking, in the future, I will perform an arati to time. I'm going to worship time first. In anticipation of meeting Krishna, I will worship time. And Guru Maharaj's words, he said, and ask time to stay for some time. To propitiate time, as if you could stop time. She said, I will worship time. And once time is pleased with me and time is stopped, then I'm going to turn my attention to the divine vision of Krishna. Right? So in this mood, this searching mood, Krishnanusandhan, Mahaprabhu's running, leaves the sannyas yajna after Keshava Bharati, and they have some kirtan. Then Mahaprabhu is running, Kahan Krishna Prananath Murali Badan, Kahan Karun Kahan Pan Brajendranandan. Where is Krishna? Right? Murali Vadana, who's playing the flute. Where is Krishna? Where can I find him? Prananath, Kahan Krishna Prananath means the Lord of my life, of my existence. Where is he? Like Srila Guru Maharaj will point out what it is we're searching for, what everyone is searching for. Really, if you hone and refine that concept to the nth degree, to the infinite degree, it will take you in the direction of Krishna. Right? What everyone is searching for is love, affection, beauty, charm, sweetness, divine loving relationship. But if you refine that search internally, you'll see it's taking you in a particular direction. Only Krishna is capable of satisfying every atom of the soul's hankering, as voiced by Srimati Radharani, Prati Anga Lage Kande Prati Anga More. And then every atom of my existence is crying out for its corresponding correlative, it's corresponding. That can only be reciprocated by Krishna, who's Akila Rasamrita Murti, Rasaraj, love personified, beauty personified, ecstasy personified. So Mahaprabhu Radha Bhava Duty Subalita enveloped the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani. He's run off searching for Krishna. And inevitably he makes it to Puri and sees Jagannath. But he sees Jagannath as Shama Sundar Krishna, Shama Gopa Roop, Krishna in the form of a cowherd boy. And seeing Krishna, his body, his divine body, form, and interior is devastated by ecstatic waves, like the ocean of ecstatic emotions. Sometimes it's compared to that, like when an ocean is very turbulent, this type of intensity. So he faints. He begins to exhibit what's called Asta Sattvika Vikar, 8 different types of ecstasies when they're manifested at once to the extreme. Rupa Goswami describes this in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, where he'll talk about one particular ecstasy, like stamba, being stunned, or the hair standing on the end, or different things. But he'll say, if 1, 2, 3, that's a particular stage. If all of them, that's a particular stage. If all of them are manifest at once. But if all of them are manifest to the extreme degree at one time, that's Asta Sattvika Vikar. And this is what manifests in Mahaprabhu. And he faints. And by faint, we mean fainted to this world, so much aware in the upper world, unable to maintain consciousness here. Our position is the inverse. Right? We're so conscious here, we can have a glimpse of the spiritual reality. Right? We're struggling in the opposite direction. Mahaprabhu is struggling to maintain some external consciousness. And by external, we don't mean mundane. Just aware of the external world. He's struggling to do that, as is the pure devotee, described in Srimad Bhagavatam, also personified in Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other places. So he's fainted to this world, and where he is, that's described in other places. That plane, where, what? Kataganam Natyagamanam. P. Bangshi Priya Sakhi, Brahma Sangita says, where all movement is dance, all speech is song. Srila Guru is saying, movement. Even the scientists, they'll always talk about everything's in movement, motion, movement. But Guru is saying, movement enhanced with beauty, beautiful movement is dance. So really, if they will go further, and this type, they're saying, yeah, everything's moving, and they're, yes, right direction. But when you come to the position of understanding, it's all a beautiful movement. Like sometimes they'll speak of the elegant universe. When you understand, it is a beautiful movement. And what is the essence of that beautiful movement? That it's moving on account of ecstatic condition, right? Ecstatic expression. Then we're moving in the direction of Krishna conception. Right? So when Guru Maharaj, in the beginning of Search for Sri Krishna, we have him saying, Brahma Jigyasa, spiritual inquiry, he says, which generally we say is a good thing. We're promoting that. But here, because now it's going to be secondary educate. Guru says, Brahma Jigyasa, I inquire about spirit, Brahma. He said, that is a dry thing. He said, now is the time, Rasa Jigyasa, to inquire about rasa. Right? Means ecstatic love. The potential for ecstatic love. Sat Chit Anandam. Existence, awareness of existence. Then we realize the third thing. What is our necessity? Anandam. Happiness, pleasure, love. Just to exist, not enough. To be aware of your existence. Good, but not enough. Then we become aware. I have a necessity. I'm searching for fulfillment. What is that? Like Guru said, there's feeler and what is to be felt. Can't just acquire more and more feeler. Right? Consciousness. Right? Gyan, knowledge, awareness. But there's a target in mind. Something to be felt. Happiness, pleasure, love, ecstasy. That's the goal. And it's personified as Krishna. So Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radharani, heart and halo, her nature, bhav, more than mood, her actual heart and nature. The Mahabhav Swarupini Radha Thakurani, who's able to extract fully, right, the supreme negative, the predominated moiety, who can extract fully from the supreme positive. So he's fainted, lost to this world. The guards think that maybe he's a sentimental pilgrim. So they're going to remove him, drag him out. Someone's fainted in front of the deity. Because there are impersonators too, actors, actresses. There's Rupa Goswami warns of two. People who are sentimental by nature and those who are Stanislavski method. Good actors and good actresses. Very believable, but acting. Believable, but acting. So they're getting ready to drag Mahaprabhu out, and then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya comes. The court pundit of the king of Puri, Pratap Maharaj is his name. Vasudev Sarvabhauma. Sarvabhauma, his title. Sarva Bhauma. Bhauma means the world. Sarvabhauma means like the smartest guy in the world. And that's what it means. He's called Sarvabhauma. So he comes and he tells the guards, oh, wait. He knows how to observe and verify the symptoms of Asta Sattvika Vikara, these 8 different types of ecstasy in full-blown manifestation. Take some cotton swab, see, although he appears dead, there's still some breathing. He observes different things and saying, no, this, we've heard of this. We've read about this in the scriptures. This is extraordinary. I've never seen this manifest in someone. So he's thinking that Mahaprabhu is a great saint. Right? And arranges for him to be carried. Devotees, they carry Mahaprabhu in his comatose-like ecstatic state to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Hearing that, Gopinath Acharya's brother-in-law comes, who's a great devotee of Mahaprabhu, and they start having a discussion about Mahaprabhu. And Gopinath's position, he says to Sarvabhauma, you know everything, but there's one thing you don't know. One thing escaped your observation. Everything else you know, but there's this one thing you don't know. And that's the cause that's spoiling your good fortune. What is that? Who is lying before you? That who is lying before you is the original, supreme personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan. Not an exalted sage, some ecstatic devotee. The original personality of Godhead lies before you, before your very eyes in your own home, and you don't know. And then they have they're quoting back and forth. One verse from the scripture, another verse back and forth, whether there's any Yuga avatar. Sometimes the Lord is called Tri Yuga, like we hear in the Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto. Tri Yugatvam, and it means 3 yugas. But this is a encrypted way through inference of indicating who the fourth is. And you who are known as Tri Yuga, who appear in 3 different yugas, but in the Kali Yuga, Chana Kalo, it's in a hidden position. Bhaktakyam, they say, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. So someone asked Guru, how can we understand, who's who in this sloka? So he said, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa, he said, is Srivas Thakur. Bhakta Swarup Nityananda Prabhu. Bhaktavatar Advaita Acharya. Bhakta Shakti Gadadhar Pandit. But Bhaktakyam, who's known, will be known as a devotee. That's Mahaprabhu. Meaning Krishna. But in this time, he'll be known as a devotee of Krishna. And what is, we say he's covered, he's hidden. Hidden in what way? Anta Krishna Bahir Gauram Darshitangari Vaibhavam. He's internally Krishna, Bahir Gauram, externally golden. Why? Because Radha Bhava Duty Subolita. He's hidden beneath the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani. So really what Prahlad Maharaj is saying, he's talking about Mahaprabhu. So Gopinath is showing, actually, there are indications in the scriptures. It has been indicated there in various places. But you're not reading it. You're not catching that. It's not being revealed to you for some reason. And then he said, but what can I say? It says in the Bhagavatam, Atapite deva padam bujadvaya prasadaleshanugrihita evahi. Prasadalesh. You need a little bit of mercy to understand this. It's not an academic thing. It's not the transfer of data. Right? We're not data mining. Right? This isn't, some knowledge, and then you transfer this information here. Oh, now I know it, and you know it. We discussed it. It's not like that. Tene Brahma Rida. It's heart to heart. It's a heart transmission. Not the transfer of, data packets or information. Right? But a feeling. Right? Anandam. Ananda Sundar. Feeling. It's a transfer of a feeling. This feeling is above knowledge. He said, but as Guru Maharaj told, when he was 23, he had one teacher who was around 80. And he had 6 black belts. Ontological black belts. Like in the Sat Darshan of India, all the different philosophies. He was very learned, educated. And so Guru Maharaj, at one point, being very simple-hearted, pure-hearted, the Charl Brahman. He said, why don't you use your vast learning and intellect and discovery of the glories of Mahaprabhu? And that man said, oh, my boy, it is not a question of learning. But he said, you've got to have some mercy. That man knew it also. You got to have some mercy. It's not just a question of knowing. Right? When we say jnana shunya bhakti is feigned ignorance. It's not real ignorance. It's feigned. And they're pretending under the influence of yoga maya not to know. Those who know the most are pretending not to know certain things. And not pretending, it's heartfelt. Right? Anyway, so then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya responds by saying, and what is the, oh, I see, you're saying, you have to have some mercy. So what's the evidence that you have this mercy and I don't? And Gopinath Acharya said, that I can understand that he's Swayam Bhagavan. And you can't. Anyway, not to argue, don't mind it. So, but then Mahaprabhu, he liberates Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Right? By Sarvabhauma's attempt to upgrade Mahaprabhu. Right? He's saying, I say you're a sannyas, you got sannyas, but of an inferior sampradaya. I can upgrade you. I got the upgrade. I can do that. I know the mantras, I can do it. He thinks he's going to help Mahaprabhu and upgrade him to a superior sannyas position. But in the process, Mahaprabhu upgrades Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who is formerly Brihaspati, the guru of the demigods. He's giving him entrance into Gaur Lila. Yata yata Gaura Padara Vinde Vinde Bhaktim Krita Punya Rasi Tata Tatotsarpati Hridya Kazmat Radha Padamboja Subdamburasi. And that's everything. Right? The entrance to Krishna Lila through Gaur Lila. The service of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. The entrance to Vrindavan and Navadvip. All of this. So to be elevated to Gaur Lila, this is the ultimate. Right? As Guru Maharaj, he gave in Parsi in the Bhagavad Gita sloka, Rasovarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate, which we generally render as param drishtva. When you experience the higher taste, automatically the yearning, the taste, the hankering for lower things vanishes. But I can only say this, repeating what Srila Guru Maharaj said. In one context, he said, Param drisva nivartate. He said, what is the ultimate higher taste? Gaur Lila. And when you have a taste for that, your taste for other things diminishes. So anyway, he upgrades Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and we know at some point, he reveals his Sadbhuj Murti to him. Which is what? To show. It is to, he's revealing his divinity. So, Sadbhuj, 6 arms, 2 of Ramachandra, of Krishna, of Mahaprabhu, saying, who was Krishna previously? Who was Ramachandra previously? Who was Krishna previously? Now he's appeared as Gauranga. So, that Sarvabhauma, later at the time of the Rath Yatra, when Shivananda Sen brought the 200 Mahabhagavatas from Bengal, and Prataparudra Maharaj, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Gopinath Acharya on the king's, what do you call it, rooftop, they're seeing all of these exalted Mahabhagavatas arriving at one time. And they see Mahaprabhu sent his devotees with garlands for Advaita and Nityananda and other, and he is eager. He's not met them previously. He's eager. Prataparudra Maharaj is eager to find out who's who. Like we say in the Gora Gono Desha Dipika, who's who in Gaur Lila? He also wants to know who's who. And he's asking Sarvabhauma, and Sarvabhauma says, Gopinath Acharya, he's in a better position. And he starts explaining to everyone. But at one point, Prataparudra, he's saying like, how is it that some people don't get it? They don't understand who Mahaprabhu is. That Krishna has come again in this extraordinary form. They don't, how can they not understand his divinity? And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya answers the question by saying, Atapi te deva padambuja dvaya prashadale shanagrahita evahi. Now Sarvabhauma's the witness, the new convert. He's saying, you have to get some mercy. Believe me, you have to get some mercy. Right? That's why Mahaprabhu's devotees, when Sarvabhauma penned those prayers, the Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sloka and the others, they were showing this to everybody to show, do you know that the court pundit of Prataparudra Maharaj is a devotee of Mahaprabhu? Did you know that? Did you know he wrote all these prayers in praise of Mahaprabhu and his divinity? It was a big achievement for them to capture Sarvabhauma. So now that Sarvabhauma, who's thoroughly been reconfigured and, rebooted by Mahaprabhu. It's like Sarvabhauma 2.0, right? He's the biggest devotee of Mahaprabhu. He has Mahaprabhu in his house. He and his wife, they're offering all of these wonderful prasad to Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu said, oh, for Krishna, I see, anyway, get a leaf, give me a little prasad. And someone was saying, no, I know who you are. As Jagannath, you eat 56 offerings a day. So whatever I've got here is like a snack. So don't, and Mahaprabhu, he's so pleased to see how he's changed. We hear that he came one morning. Sarvabhauma does everything by the book. And by the book, we mean like the Vedas. Vidhi, right? Does everything perfectly. Mahaprabhu comes early in the morning one day and he says, Sarvabhauma, the way of saying, he goes, I want you to taste this prasadam. It's incredible. And Sarvabhauma takes it. Mahaprabhu's heart is melted. He said, look, he doesn't care anymore for anything. He didn't brush his teeth. He just immediately took that prasadam. Like once, Paramananda Prabhu said, Srila Gurudev called him when he was in downtown Bangkok, and Gurudev was like, and this is when Gurudev was very sick. So Gurudev said, you have to come back immediately. And he was like, what's wrong? Come back immediately. You have to, and he's like, I killed a couple people on the way back. No, he didn't. Right. But he's driving, he's coming back, and he gets there, and he's thinking, oh no, maybe he has to take Gurudev to the hospital. He's saying, his heart is pounding, and then what? And Gurudev said, you've got to taste this sweet rice. It's unbelievable. Who made that sweet rice? Or Manasa. I think it was Manasa Krishna. Manasa Krishna made the sweet rice. That's who made it. And Gurudev said, you've got to taste this. So he came and he is like crying, dying inside and ecstatic. That is Krishna consciousness. Your heart's breaking. You're ready to die. You're going to collapse. You're on your last breath and you're totally happy and ecstatic inside. It's the strangest combination of extremes. Baihe Vishajalahoy Bitrayanandamoy Krishna Prema Adbhuta Charit. The astonishing characteristic of Krishna Prem, love for Krishna, is externally the devotee appears to be devastated, like they've been poisoned. And internally they're relishing the most peculiar, strange nectarine juice. Their hearts are full of joy. So, and this is Krishna consciousness. Everything is going wonderfully. Mahaprabhu is taking all the prasadam. Then what happens? The son-in-law, Amoga, comes. Well, looks like a lot of eating going on here. He starts finding fault with Mahaprabhu. I mean, you think we have problems. This is Gaur Leela. Everything's going like smooth and it's just like Krishna Leela. When everything's nice, Krishna and the cowherd boys are there. Then a demon shows up, Aghasura or Putana, for some drama, right? And then everything gets weird for a while. Then devotees do extraordinary things. Krishna does extraordinary things. And then it all becomes adjusted, and then they go on to the next pastime. So here, so much joy, so much happiness. And this son-in-law comes and starts finding fault with Mahaprabhu. This is enough for like so many people. Sarvabhauma just said, as Jagannath eats 56 times a day, that's his conception. It's God himself, right? Omnipotent. Now this man with his mundane conception saying, this is more food. I mean, and a sannyasi, this doesn't look good. Something's wrong here. And what do we hear? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's wife, this is like the Bengali style. She says, I hope his wife becomes a widow. It's her son-in-law. He says, I hope his wife becomes a widow, like soon. And then Sarvabhauma picks up a stick and he's gonna beat him, right? And he chases him away. This is Gaur Leela. But this is the point. So Sarvabhauma's wife, how she's responding, how Sarvabhauma is responding, and Mahaprabhu is laughing. He thinks it's funny. So that man, he's an aparadi. He's committing aparad. Mahaprabhu is smiling at the whole thing and telling Sarvabhauma to let it go, and Sarvabhauma can't let it go. Anyway, then we're told within a matter of days, this Amoga, for his offenses, he gets cholera, he's on the verge of dying. It's horrible. It's a horrible, disgusting death. And Mahaprabhu comes and saves him and is merciful to him. He's rectified, he's purified, he's cleansed, he becomes beautiful in the process. But Sarvabhauma, the first thing he says is, you should have let him die. That would have been better to neutralize his offenses. And Mahaprabhu, no. Krishna, Mahaprabhu, they have this type of purifying capacity. Like whatever we put in the fire, it will never pollute the fire, right? The fire just consumes it, purifies it, and if anything becomes more potent, it doesn't become polluted. Same with the personality of Godhead in his pastimes. He can absorb everything. So for our own concern, the devotee will think, Krishna's in the background. For some reason, he's letting me hear something or observe something, for my own internal correction. I'm not here to correct others, I'm here to correct myself. Right? And Gurudev said himself once too, he said, I'm thinking, if someone is doing wrong, but they are sincere, he said, then I'm thinking they're getting inspiration for internal correction. So he's delaying correcting them, thinking, they're a sincere person, they're hearing the voice, Chaitya Guru, within their conscience, Chaitya Guru by extension, and getting the inspiration for inner correction. So, again, my religion, finding fault with myself. That we can do. Guru Maharaj said sometimes, quoting the observations of another man, summarizing, saying, there was the message of Bhagavad Gita, don't quarrel with the environment. Correct yourself. Heal thyself. So, that's our position. But what we find intolerable is the blasphemy of other devotees, not ourselves. That we can tolerate and think it is deserved. But of other devotees, Krishna, that's the first offense to the holy name. The very first. Right? Krishna won't tolerate that. And so we don't tolerate that either. If we can't do anything about it, we withdraw from the situation. Right? As Saraswati Thakur, as I told the other day, he said in Radha Kunda, if I was just here doing my own bhajan and someone said something unfortunate, would I just withdraw from there and go, I wouldn't make an issue about it. But I'm here on the role as an acharya, so I have to. And actually, when Gurudev told me this, there was someone I couldn't tolerate. They were offending some other dear devotees of Gurudev. But Avadut Maharaj and Gurudev were tolerating. So I thought, there's something wrong with me. So I'm going to try and adjust myself. Because I got Gurudev and Avadut Maharaj, they're tolerating, but I can't tolerate. So I'm going to adjust and be like them. So I met with this person and readjusted myself, and I was very proud and happy of myself, and I couldn't wait. And then Gurudev came in, and I'm like so proud, like a peacock, and I said, Maharaj, and I said, now I'm also seeing that person like you, and I would do it, Maharaj, the way you're seeing, I'm also seeing like that. I've changed my position. Like, aren't I a good boy, And Gurudev looked at me and he goes, I can never say that. I'm like, what? I thought this. And that's when he said, finding fault with Vaishnavas. He went through the whole list. This is intolerable. He said, my religion is finding fault with myself, not casting blame on others, the environment. So, like Guru Maharaj's story of the sycophant, the yes man, where he said, that king, he puts an ad in the newspaper, like, yes man, wanted. And so many people apply for the position, and he's interviewing them. And one man comes in, the king says, do you think you'll be able to do this? Like, agree with everything I say? He goes, yes, I'll be able to do it. No problem. King says, no, but, it could be difficult. I don't think you will be. And the man said, no, I will be able to. Sent him away. Another man, you think you can do? Yes, I can do. I say a lot of different things. It could be difficult at times to totally agree with me. No, I'll be able to. Sent them away. Then another man came in. The king said, you think you can agree with everything I say? Yes, I can. It could be very difficult because sometimes I say things that really are extreme and it may not be possible for you to agree. And that man said, you're right, there could be times when maybe I wouldn't be able to do that. And the king said, no, I think you'll be able to do it, ultimately. He said, I also think that ultimately I'll be able to do it. But the king said, but there could be times, though, when you wouldn't. He said, that's true. There could be one or two instances. And the king said, this is the man for the job.
I think we got the man on this.
I think so too.
Yeah. So that's why ultimately, who are we trying to please? And this is the part that's easy to say, but the bitter pill to swallow. We're trying to please Krishna and his devotees. And the ultimate devotee, Radharani, says, if pleasing them involves me being unhappy on any level, I'm okay with that. I want them to be happy. So that'll be our consideration. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vaishnava, what is them? Vaishnavi Pratishta Tati Korunishta. What makes them happy? Not an egocentric way of viewing everything, but theocentric, guru-centric. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Maharaj. So, Mahaprabhu fainted when he first came to Puri and saw Jagannath. But how is it possible that Gopinath Acharya was already Mahaprabhu devotee by then?
They're from Vidyanagar. He's a Navadvip devotee. They're living in Puri now, but previously they're living in the Navadvip area. Vidyanagar, that's when Mahaprabhu, having taken sannyas and gone to South India so many years, and he come back, and you can, after so many years, it's not forbidden to visit your home. And that's when Mahaprabhu comes and the crowd swells due to the infusion of gods and goddesses. Right? Rupa Goswami, Sureshanam Durgam, Sada Pasya Sriman Drita Manujakai Pranaitam Bahadbi Girvane Girisha Param Meshi Pabrittibi Sa Bhaktevya Sudham Nija Bhajanam Mudram Upadisham Satchetanna Kime Punar Vidashorya Satibadam. Think gods and goddesses disguised as human beings, they wanted to have a glimpse of the beauty of Mahaprabhu and his divine pastimes. Seeing Krishna infused with Krishna Prem of the highest type, Mahabhav. So they come and they're Mahaprabhu in that situation, his peripheral vision out to the side. In that crowd, there is Sachi Mata, his mother, and Vishnu Priya Devi, his former wife. And Guru Maharaj said that Vishnu Priya says to Sachi, there is your son. And she's, a pathetic figure to the intensity of her separation. Tyaktva sudushtaja surepshita raja lakshmin dharmista arja bachasa yadagara ranyam mayam rigam doiti ipsitam anvadava bande mahapurushate charanaravinam. Guru said he gave up the the imperial throne of the love of the heart of Vishnu Priya. Just like a king has a throne that's so plush and full of jewels and gems and made from gold, her heart is that type of throne, and throne is the love of Nimai Pandit. That he had to give up to Mayam Rigam Doita Ipsanta Anvadavad. Anvadavad means to run, to chase after those jivas who are chasing after Maya. Right? So sometimes when we say, what is Vishnu Priya's contribution? Her contribution is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That's her contribution. So knowing the pain of separation in her heart, Mahaprabhu stops and they can't connect. Mahaprabhu stops and his padukas, means his wooden shoes, the wooden shoes of the renunciate, he steps out of those shoes and walks on, and all the crowd goes with him, and Vishnu Priya comes and she takes those shoes to her heart, and those are the shoes that are worshipped to this day at Vishnu Priya Bari, Mahaprabhu Bari, the house of Vishnu Priya Devi in Navadvip, where that special deity of Mahaprabhu resides. And Mahaprabhu continued on, but he goes to Vidyanagar, which is the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Gopinathacharya, and who is it? Vidyavachaspati. Their family line, that's where they're from. And that's where Mahaprabhu, in the house of Vidyavachaspati, on the rooftop, everyone comes for his darshan. Guru Maharaj said, when the crowd, in their madness to follow him, when they come to the Ganga, there's a limited number of boats. So some people, they turn pots upside down and float across in that. And then, in other words, when the mob is so great, they just come and they displace the water when they cross. So no one could drown. The mob just runs across the water. The water displaces and they all go through. And they reach Vidyanagar, and to have a glimpse of Mahaprabhu, they're climbing trees. And by his divine power, the trees become empowered. So even on a twig can hold a human being. On twigs, all the trees are decorated with gods and goddesses and great devotees, drinking the nectarine beauty of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is there and there. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes his song, one of his songs, taking himself as one of those in the crowd. And he says, when will Nimai Pandit give up the robes of renunciation and come back to Navadvip? And we'll have our Rasa Kirtan as we had before. And the song directly parallels the sentiments expressed by Srimati Radharani and the Braja Gopis in Kurukshetra when they say, when will Krishna give up this Rajvesh, the dress of a king, and come and dance with us again, enjoy on the banks of the Jamuna, playing his flute. So the Rajvesh, in that case, and the Maharaj Vesh, when will he, Bhaktivinoda expresses that in that song, taking himself to be one of the inhabitants of Navadvip. Hare Krishna.